Hello.
Hello.
He's here.
What? I'm not.
We brought him back.
It's not me.
He's alive.
It's not me. I have this, and it's very good.
San Pellegrino?
Dark Morello, cherry, and pomegranate.
That sounds delightful.
To which Shelby said she would really drink anything else in the case except this.
Well, that means more for you.
That's one way of looking at it. I just felt like that was a little harsh.
I would agree.
Yeah.
Yeah. Shelby didn't need to put it that way.
Shelby, you didn't need to put it that way.
You didn't need to put it that way. You
She
could have let him
watch our
off
stream.
easy.
She doesn't watch our stream. Doesn't care.
Well, happy Friday, everyone. I hope you guys are having a good time so far. I hope you're looking forward to
Punisher, I'm the new hire. My name's Jason.
Yeah, we hired on a new guy.
Got a new guy.
I know he looks a lot like the one that was here before, but this is the new and improved model.
Looks like... Oh. Wow, that's a lot to live up to.
New and improved.
This could get dicey.
And improved.
This could get dicey if I have to be new and improved.
I mean, we could say new
Define,
and worse.
Define improved. New I can handle.
Well, hold on.
Very,
All right.
very nebulous term.
Let's pull up the exact dictionary definition.
He's going to dictionary.com, guys.
Improved. Definition. All right. Having become or been made better.
Oh, that's what I was afraid of.
We got a better house.
That's what I was afraid of.
Right? So that counts.
I don't know if I can live up to these expectations.
You know what? You are in fact 3 days older, therefore you are improved in age. That seems like an easy pair of boots to follow.
I feel like I am now twice offended. Offended 2 times. Doubly offended now.
Well, dog, I have been practiced in the way of
rat bastarding.
Being a rat bastard.
He's been practiced in the way of rat bastarding. Source, what's going on?
Gosu,
good to see you.
Mose, what's up? Tim, what's up? Dragonfire, hello. Punisher, what's going on?
Punisher says, "Nah, it was a low bar. You got this." Wait, whoa!
Gosu.
Now I have been offended 3 times. I see how
Gosu
Friday's gonna go. You will not break me. I'm having a good day. I will continue to have a good day, despite all of you people, because I'm gonna mix some transparency in this cup and paint this cloak, and it's gonna look fantabulous. And I don't remember what colors I was gonna do because I got interrupted by my meeting yesterday that took 2.5 hours.
I noticed that.
When you left at 5:10,
you were still
going.
Yeah. I love how you're like, we should take like an hour.
I'll be back
for the last bit of stream.
Be about an hour. Who knew accountants could talk that long?
It got to 4 and I was like, oh, that's a long meeting.
My God, man.
Well,
it was actually very good, but it beat me down. I gotta admit, it beat me down a little bit. I'm gonna get green, yellow, and brown transparents, and we're gonna make mud. How about that?
You know what I think needs to start happening a little bit more in the morning, Jason?
What's that?
I need to come swing by your office and give you a little bit of the dose of
the cheer.
The cheer in the morning.
I had lots of cheer this morning. It didn't include you.
Wow, that hurts my feelings.
It should. It should. You're a very mean individual. You're mean. You offended me. You were very offensive.
But
you're very offensive.
I was saying you were improved.
Because of my getting on in years.
No, I said literally 2 days older.
You said 3, but yes.
Excuse me, 3. My apologies. I said you were 3 days older than you were when you left.
Bastard. I have no idea what I'm mixing here. I'm just putting drops of paint in a bucket. See how it works.
Gosu, you know what? It's okay. Sometimes Baby J's got to just, be the punching bag.
Taking my moving rage out on Baby J. When was he taking rage out on anybody? I am being the nice one here.
Are you?
How is he? Oh my God! Like he's being the offensive one, and somehow I'm mad?
I don't think I'm being that offensive.
I quit. I feel like that's been my key phrase lately too. Is I've been quit. every time something's gone wrong in the move or something, I'm like I quit. Jen doesn't even pay attention to me anymore.
Just like yeah.
Legit, Jen doesn't even listen to me anymore. Doesn't even listen to me. Which winds up hurting because I'm like standing outside holding a massively heavy TV and she's inside not listening to the doorbell.
You're like, gosh, please.
Last night I really was.
door.
I was kicking on the door. The dog is in the living room. We have a big window in the living room. The dog was at the living room and could see me and was just like wagging tail and watching me while I had all this heavy stuff in both hands. And Jen's in the kitchen. Jen's just being Jen in the kitchen. I was like, out here. I'm out here with the stuff.
Could use a little help out here.
That gave me a really deep kind of foresty green. The yellow lightened it up a little bit. I need more brown, I think. More brown. Loads of brown. Ooh, now we're talking. Oh! Now we're talking. Now it's like a deep camo green transparent. Yeah.
We're going on the highlight train for this here base, folks. We're doing a little bit of the burnt orange and yellow ochre to start building up our kind of funky sandy color.
I don't like it when Mom and Dad fight. Go, Sue. If we are the influencers on your life like parents, you're already doomed. Just gonna throw it out there. I hope that was glazed wash medium. It was. Like, I'm always reaching down there, expect like, oh, what if that was white primer? That would be bad. Gosu says, I choose this life. Okay, if we're your parents, then what we need you to do, Gosu, is start practicing basketball.
Basketball?
Yeah, I need him to become a pro basketball player to take care of Dad in my old age.
Okay. Why specifically pro basketball?
Best contracts?
Yeah, maybe. I guess.
Maybe baseball, but I think pretty much basketball. Unless we export him to like Europe and he plays football. Football. I need you to be basically I just need you to become a professional athlete. So you can take care of your old man here pretty soon. Because I just quit. So I don't have a leg to stand on him. Oh, look at that. Look how beautiful that is.
That green?
Oh my god.
Muddy green.
Oh my god. The power of mixing your transparents, folks.
I'm telling you, transparents, man.
That's a good color right there.
Sing the praises of the
transparents. All right, now let's see how bad it messes all this stuff up. Give me a number 4. I don't want a number 6, but that one's kind of had it. That one's kind of... All my number 6s have kind of had it, which is a shame. I have a new one.
Oh, I was about to say, I got a new one right here.
You got number 6?
Yeah.
Ta-da! Dankeschön. Darling, Dankeschön. How you tore your dress. What a mess.
You can tell he's in a good mood. Because he's singing on the stream.
All right, here we go. We're going to start right here.
He ignored me.
Yes. Ooh. Ooh. Oh, yeah. Using this much like you would a speed paint. It's a filter, not going to go falling down into crevices. It's going to stay where I put it. But as you can see, it's going to take all of that very desaturated bright highlight that I put on and immediately throw it back into the other greens that we've got to kind of pull all that texture together. You have not been on the stream for long, then you will know, or you won't know, but I like to do stuff like this, use filtering as a method to get colors the way I want them, because then it means I can just use bright and dark within a particular hue and not have to worry about whether or not they look exactly the way I want to. I can adjust them at the end with a filter of color like what you see me doing now. So I'm always painting with the idea that I can alter what I see on the model at any point in time by coming over it with a filter of, in this case, green and yellow and brown transparent. I'm going to go ahead and get that into our Payne's gray shadow as well. And we can do as many layers as we need to, but you can see how it starts dropping all the texture together better. I lose a lot of that contrast, and it does a lot of blending for me. And because of the transparency when using the glaze wash medium, and then doubly so when using it with the transparent paints themselves, now I can go back and I can layer color this way. So if I wanted to go back and add some reds or something in this, I can do it after the fact. And it'll look like it's all blended really well. Very nice.
Very nice.
Very nice. But it doesn't leave the staining and weird blotchiness that a contrast paint will. There's a big reason why I don't like those kinds of paints, because they're very uncontrollable until you put a ton of effort into them. Whereas this didn't take a lot to mix. And I get exactly what I want right out of the gates. It will not pool. It will not give irregular surfaces. Just give me a really nice, clean color base for everything. Because it's just regular paint. It's just a little more see-through. And I can still adjust however much water is on the brush to keep it flowing the way I want to. If I want to thin it down, add more water. Nothing crazy, nothing new you got to do here.
Trying to get this base all ready to go. I can finish up these guys real fast. I want to use them today after work.
What did you wind up finishing yesterday? I know you were trying to do one of the FETs.
One of the what?
FETs, weren't you? Like you said, Django FET?
So Django FET I'm painting today. I want to get them done in one stream, but we'll see how that goes. Seems ambitious.
Seems ambitious.
Not a super complicated model, just like lots of non-metallic metal, but it's...
Ooh, those guys, I really like the kind of magenta on the force weapon, though.
Oh, these guys? Yeah. I was gonna do like a little bit of a purple wash in it to brighten it up, or to darken it down a little bit, and then I was gonna go back over it with some magenta and then some white to bring out the highlights. So that was the plan for that. Bases are looking pretty similar now. We just got to put the brown wash in like we did on Dooku's base. I'm really liking how this earth color is coming along. Really adds a lot of nice contrast to the model. Dig it. Let me mix that brown right on up.
Your Texas voice scares the hell out of me. I'm just gonna say it.
Why?
Just say it.
Why does it scare you?
Because you're not from there.
Sorry.
And it's very Chainsaw Massacre-y. and and because in order to get out of this room, I got to go past you. So just voicing it out. They're throwing it out into the universe.
Why would you ever put that out into the universe of all things?
That's a little worrisome.
You don't tell the universe that you think that you might get chainsaw massacred by your
My lovely paint partner.
Yeah. That's not a thing we want to put out into the universe, Jason. Not that it's gonna happen.
Well, I put it out into the universe so that if it ever does happen, chat knows who did it.
Unless it was really Jacob the whole time.
This is going to be a very fast Dateline episode.
Oh my gosh.
He needs a cow-killing hammer at his paint station.
Yeah.
He needs that bolt device that the guy from No Country for Old Men had.
The like piston.
Yeah, I think
thing.
it's the one they killed cows with.
Yeah.
Where they just drive it up into their skull.
Yep. Yeah, it just goes boom, and it goes boom. Yeah, right into their head.
His character was amazing.
Oh, absolutely.
His character was creepy as hell.
Absolutely incredible. What a good movie.
Woody Harrelson was in that, right? He was like that country boy. Yeah.
Was he?
Yeah, because he kills Woody Harrelson towards the end, doesn't he?
I don't
in
remember.
the chair. Yeah. Saunders like, yeah, I think I'm right. I think it's Woody Harrelson.
I mean, it's been a while since I've seen the movie, so I wouldn't know.
Baby J seems to have a lot of knowledge on cow killing devices and their sounds.
Whoa. Hold your horses.
Told you, you might not want to let all this info.
Hold your horses, everyone.
Might not
Hold
want to
your
let
horses.
all this info hit the
Games
real
played
world,
poorly.
Baby J.
You're throwing me under the bus, and I don't like it.
I'm in this photo, and I don't like it.
How's it going, Amster? Super Bleeder. Oh, played some fighting games on lunch, and my hand is not appreciating it.
I like to see the arcade machine getting some use.
Oh, absolutely.
Very good.
How does it feel under there, Baby J? Tim, it's been a long time since I threw you under the rock. I think we're at a part in our lives where we can move past that. I think. I'd like to think so.
Some people hold grudges, Jordan.
I don't think Tim's like that.
Have you met Tim?
Yeah. Yeah, of course I've met Tim.
Tim's last name is literally Grudge Holder.
I haven't seen it. Therefore, it's not real.
It's Lumberjack Tim Grudge Holder.
I haven't seen it. Therefore, it's not real.
I haven't seen it. Therefore, it can't be real. Woody Harrelson's character is hired by the company who hired the killer and was shot in a chair with a silenced shotgun. Oh, that's right.
That sounds very familiar.
Go Sue, badumts. I'm not repeating that.
Hello.
I didn't do it. Is it forklift time? Oh!
Now that is a trench coat.
Yeah, I like that.
I told you. I have to take it out of this
Holy cow.
It's a duster coat.
Yeah, it's a big duster. Were
Yeah,
you
it's around horses.
were you a horsey boy?
Yeah.
Okay.
This one that came free with. Well, I ordered one and I had one, and it came, and this one came with it, and it was a size bigger than the one I have.
All right. Very cool. We have
Delightful.
something to do after the stream. We have
We
super
do,
secret
in
business.
fact.
Secret,
Well, it's not really super secret business for chat because we got to
you
tell
guys can't
chat.
see it. Yeah, chat can't even see it.
Well, don't show them that part because that'll be super
Oh, okay,
secret
okay.
part. But we have to tell them about the stuff because we always tell chat prior to the rest of the world knowing.
Yep.
Yeah, they deserve it.
They get it because you support us so much and you show us so much love.
Just
We
remember,
tell you things first.
You were talking to me about being thrown under the bus, okay? And we're gonna reveal some stuff on stream today just for you, okay?
Silence. He's back there playing the fart noise. I'm like, Phil, you need to go to the doctor.
For a whole different reason. Bye, boys.
Take it easy. Thank you, Phil.
What a nice guy, Philip. What a nice guy.
Not words you hear too often.
Nice guy, Philip. Yeah, that's probably fair. Howdy. Rants and Vomit, what's going on? Forklift for the brush lacquer.
No, brush lacquer's here. Brush lacquer's been here for like 2 weeks. For doing the handles. That's been here for a couple weeks. All's good on that front. We still are waiting on the crimping machine. Turns out, the one thing we thought was not going to be a problem is the problem.
The biggest problem.
All we need to be manufacturing brushes in-house is the crimping machine. Baby J is a good guy. He didn't put a chaos symbol under Jason's chair while he was gone to slowly start the dark corruption or anything.
I didn't do anything. I didn't do anything.
Goes, he's like, now you gotta go check. Haha.
Believe me or don't.
Okay, so Porter says, I suggested it, but he didn't read chat. Now that sounds like Baby J.
Whoa!
Ah, zinger!
Whoa! Shots fired. Come
Zinger!
on now. Come on now. You know what? Games played poorly.
Zinger!
That's it. What done?
Zinger!
My goodness gracious.
Xenobon's like, wow, dude.
Ooh, is it just me or is it hot in here?
It's just you.
Son of a gun. Maybe we're gonna go back to that Texas accent. Really freak this man out.
No, we have Signature Series boxes showing up today, so I may have to get pulled out because our facilities guy is gone, and I'm the only other one that knows how to drive the forklift. We have not had an out. It's been okay. Here's a funny thing. It's been on the list of to-dos for personnel to train all 4 production people on the forklift, and that's been on there for over 6 months.
For a while.
For over 6 months.
Yeah.
We've had on the personnel list to train all the production team on the forklift, and it hasn't happened. They have to take an online class first, and then the practical stuff happens here. And we haven't had any time to pull anybody off of production, right? It's called, no, you got to make paint. I will drive the forklift. I can do it. I haven't even tumped any pallets over yet. Or run anybody over that I know of or that we reported to anybody.
Which means at least 6.
Hey, shush. Remember, if they come get me, it's all over.
All right. This guy.
Amsterdam, what's going on? Gentlemen, what's happening?
My
Hope everybody's having a great end of your week. It's Friday.
I am getting thrown under the bus today. The big ol' stinky bus day for Baby J over here.
It's a stinky bus day.
Stinky bus
Try
day.
not to ride on the stinky bus.
Well, sometimes when you get thrown under it, you don't have options. You just gotta deal with what you get.
Are you staying tonight to play games? Or are
Yeah.
you digimanning?
No, I am staying tonight.
Are you guys doing some Star Wars-y?
We are playing some Star Wars.
I might watch.
You should.
I don't ever want to play it, but I just want to watch it.
You don't have to play it. You know what the benefit of watching is? Not
Nobody that normally would have contacted me from the local crowd has contacted me today to ask if there are games tonight, so I probably don't have a game to play.
Play a game against Gabe of Battletech.
Battletech. I could be an NPC for Gabe's.
Yeah.
Battletech exploits.
Or Phil, perhaps.
Be a thing.
Either one of them.
Mr. Philip.
Philippe
Navidad.
What goes around comes around, Big J. Look, I try to have nothing but positivity in my life, okay?
How's
it
that
makes
going for you?
life way better. Turns out it's all just pretty good. And And then sometimes
Sometimes it just doesn't work out the way I want it to.
just doesn't work. But if you keep the status quo as status quo as possible, you're doing a pretty good job.
Gentlemen, waiting for your workday to end. Hope it goes well at the end. Who needs a crimping machine? Just give Baby J some pliers. He'll make those brushes. Yeah, as long as we don't have to customer service that, I'm fine with that whole idea.
That's funny. The funny joke, guys. The funny joke. Just remember, you gotta pay me for all that time, and I won't be doing anything else other than that during. I don't know if that's a trade-off you want.
I kind of like you painting.
I kind of like me painting too.
Yeah. Kind of hired you to be painting.
That is a fact.
I'm gonna backseat a game. That Star Wars game, nah. I enjoy our Friday night game night. I enjoy just sitting around, like, shooting the shoot and watching people have fun playing games.
Me too.
I don't necessarily need to be involved in the games. I like playing games from time to time, but lately, I don't know that my brain, after the move and all the other stuff that's going on in the biz with all my meetings and crap, is something that I really care about, taking time to play anything.
Playing games is genuinely tiring.
Well, yeah, I really enjoy it, but it is a different form of stress in that I'm very competitive, right? I want to play to win, so I put a lot of mind power into it. Well, as much as my old brain can muster. I don't know if that's a lot or not.
I think it's enough.
A lot is relative to what I have to offer. As a percentage of what brain I have, I use a lot of it.
Enough
when I play games.
Is also relative, but also is a pretty good example of how much. All right, let's do a little bit of wash on this magenta, and then I think we're probably in a good enough spot to call these guys done after the highlight. And yeah. Then we can work on the other guy.
And yeah.
The other guy. Mr. Other Guy. Ha 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 ha. What a joke.
I don't know what's going on over there, Chad. Don't ask.
Ever? I'm not sure I ever know.
That wasn't part of the prerequisite. We've learned a lot about how our interview process needs to go after hiring Baby J.
Oh, come on. I think
we need to ask poignant questions like, hey,
that.
Could you please explain to us your view on positivity?
Yeah, it's great. You should do it all the time. And by all the time, I mean all the time. No options or anything else. Hamster Jam, do you guys have your own line of washes? We do have them.
We do.
We have 3 of them currently. We have a flush wash. We have a... where is it? Black wash. And we have a... where is it? Where is it? Oh, it's right in front of my face. Brown wash. These are the 3 that we have. They are fantastic. Incredibly versatile. Great flow into the recesses of your models. I enjoy them quite a lot. This flesh wash is also amazing for using for rust effects.
Yeah.
It's you would never think so because it's called flesh wash, but it is, however, a perfect reddish tone or perfect reddish hue for doing all of that.
Yeah.
It's great. So highly recommend. I use them a lot. I use them on the bases to give a wash to the bases before hitting the edges with highlights and then bringing it down a little bit darker. And the glaze and wash medium. Yep. So the glaze and wash medium, which is this stuff right here, you can use to make any of our other paints into a wash.
And we are working on more wash colors too.
We are, yeah. But this is what we currently have available at this current time on our store. Which you can find in the link that Mo's just so helpfully put into chat for us. Thank you, Mo. You beat me to it. I was gonna do it, and then you beat me to it. Let's see here. Yeah, wash. That's what we're doing. Yeah, the glaze and wash medium is like probably one of the most important things that I would recommend for somebody who's looking to expand their collection of monument paints. It is something that I use in most, or probably every single, well, not probably, every single project that I use has glaze and wash medium in it.
It's a great tool, and for a lot of people it becomes a tool that they use repeatedly, as everything from it acts a little bit like a drying retarder.
Yep.
So while it's not 100% drying retarder, if you're doing like wet blends and you lay it down first, it does a tremendous job of keeping acrylic paints open longer. Obviously, as a way to lower opacity for your paints without lowering viscosity, so they stay acting like paints but give you a really, really nice variable opacity. It's a fantastic tool. It works as a flow improver for airbrushing. Highly functional. I think I've determined that these things are supposed to be leather.
The underbits?
Yeah, these things.
Really?
Yeah, they have a really weird texture in the sculpt along the edges.
Interesting. Kind of like a burnished edge, almost.
Well, it's like it's torn.
Oh.
Like it has a rough edge on them. So it made them not highlight very well, and I noticed that when I was doing the highlights a long time ago, and then I'm back, and it has this kind of fur trim up underneath the shoulder guard.
Oh, maybe it is leather.
Yeah,
then.
so it makes me think that maybe those are leather. They have a neat texture to them, which the other metals don't. They don't have any engraving on them, which this doesn't either, but interesting. I don't know if I'm going to change those or not. It's a future me problem. We'll figure that out later.
It's a future me problem.
Figure that out later.
All right, so we got that purple wash onto these. Gonna do the underside of this guy. We got that. Undersides of this one are done as well. Yep, perfect. Now we're gonna bring up a little bit of that brightness. Zoom in a little bit, push this guy out of the way. So you guys can see how we're gonna do this. And we're just gonna take some of that transparent white and a little bit of the dark magenta.
Paint liquor, quit it. Quit it. Gentlemen, thank you.
And we're gonna build up this crackling.
Jordan is killing it on his Star Wars stuff.
Again. I'm just focusing on those areas where the electric bits are going to be the brightest. And before, which was a result that I didn't particularly care for, I dry brushed this. It's a quicker way of doing it. The problem when you dry brush it is the surface is so odd, and there's bright. There's high points everywhere, but they're all non-consistent. You don't get an even dry brush, and it gets a little funky in the way that it lays on the model. So instead, I decided to go and do more of this hand applied lightning. It's going to take a little bit longer, but I think we're going to end up with a much better result in the long run.
You like the Shatterpoint stuff for painting?
Oh,
Hamster?
Oh yeah, that's great.
Along that MCP feel.
The thing I like about it even more than MCP is the scale is so much better. MCP's got a nice heroic scale, but this is like really nice true scale. The head and the heads and the hands are in really nice proportion. The models are as tall as they generally should be. They might be a little bit lankier than they should be in general, but that might just be because I'm so used to looking at heroic scale models. But in general, they look really nice. Like this Dooku is like a great example, right? Like,
yeah, I think the
all the
Dooku model is good.
proportions.
It's a weird one because it's kind of in between a realism and the cartoon feel.
yes, yeah, 100%. I agree with that.
It's neat in that regard. If you like the Clone Wars cartoons and stuff, it has a little bit of that baked in.
I think the models are like you said, somewhere in between. I think the art is definitely much more towards that comic-y, animated style like they did in the Clone Wars cartoon.
Cool either way.
Yeah, it is really cool.
All right, gang. Here's where we go mess up all our gold. Everybody ready? Everybody ready?
Uh-oh. Oh. Even that's gonna be? Or are you just doing reflections?
Just reflections.
Oh,
now.
okay, yeah. I thought you were gonna repaint that as leather for a second, and I was like, oh my goodness.
Oh, no.
You're really going for it.
No, I'm just showing a little bit of the reflected color from the cloak. Try to keep it as subtle as I can.
Alright. Now we've got our lightning staves. A little bit more done. A little bit more of that electric feel. Crackly lightning bit. Totally ruined. Send it to me for your disposal.
Is that Mo?
Yep.
I feel like that's Mo. I knew it, Mo. Before I even looked at chat, I was like, that's gotta be Mo. Very Mo thing to say. Totally ruined. Can't believe I spent all this time watching you paint it on stream. Please send to me to dispose of properly.
That thing is hazardous. It must be disposed of with specific methods. They're only at my disposal. Please send my way for safe.
A lot of disposal.
Kind regards, Mo.
He says, indeed.
Indeed.
Indubitably.
Indubitably.
To determine what I'm doing here, I'm going to go ahead and a little bit of burgundy in here. Not a lot of room for it here, but just for poops and giggles.
Poops and giggles. You just say poops and giggles?
I did.
My goodness.
Because I can't say S-H-I-T. Against the lore.
Against the lore.
It's against the lore.
The lore of our channel does not allow for said things to happen.
Retcon the lore. Curse all you like. Again, wouldn't be a lot of burgundy reflection up there, but I think it's cool, so we're doing it anyway.
Yup, that's the way to do it. Like, this is cool, so I'm just doing it. Alright. We got 3 fine painted models for the squad. Oop, that's wrong. Now it's time to bring forth the final member. Gotta pull up a little bit of reference. Don't really remember exactly how this guy is supposed to look. So we're gonna do that real quick. Boop. Not how that's work. Go. Jango Fett.
What did Django have to do with Dooku?
So, Jango Fett was... That's a great question.
I don't think he had anything to do with Dooku. He had everything to do with Yoda, right?
No.
He was the original clone.
He was
the guy they cloned him from.
But Yoda didn't hire the Kaminoans to create the clone army.
Oh, he didn't?
No. He found out with
then took
Obi-Wan.
him?
Well, so in the movie, there's some random old Jedi by the name of Cypher Diaz that commissioned the Kaminoans to create a clone army, which was technically against the rules according to the Republic at the time. But he suspected that at some point in the near future, there would be a war that they would need. I don't know. Jango said he was hired by Tyrannus. There you go. Okay. Yes. And Jango was hired by Darth Tyrannus or Count Dooku to do.
Oh, okay.
To
Dooku
be
is Darth Tyrannus?
Yeah.
Gotcha. I do not know these things.
Was it Dooku that set up the original cloning? Oh, Dooku was sent by Palpatine to take over that program for Order 66. So Jango was hired to keep that secret. Okay. In exchange, he wanted a son. Got it. That makes a lot of sense. See, unlike a lot of other models or characters in the franchise, like these, there's a lot of great reference for him. I tell you about how much I hated the the stupid Magna Guards.
Yeah, you said you couldn't find anything that made them similar.
Yeah.
Nothing to really draw from.
Yep. Noxious. All right, so this man's got like a kind of like a purpley, plum lavender, almost. Like plum plus a purple might get us pretty close to that. Or dark purple. Yeah, that's probably better. Faded plum dark purple will probably get us to that undersuit. And then we got the metallics on top. Easy. And then the trim, which is just like a dark blue. And then just regular blue. Seems easy enough. Got like black gloves. Brown belt. Yeah, this is easy. Sweet. Thanks for making my life easy.
He talks to himself a lot, chat. I don't know what to do.
Isn't that a good thing? Especially when we're doing all the... Oh my gosh. Jason?
Huh? Oh, heck yeah. Oh, heck yeah. Are you going to do it?
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah, you
Unless
should
wanna
do it. You got to put the hat on.
Oh, we do. We will.
All right, cool. I like it. Perfect.
Amazing.
Yeah, perfect. Hey, you got to do it like, hey, over here. Some of this.
we got the good stuff.
Oh, my God. That's so good.
Y'all are in for a treat.
New Guy Phil's
Let
about
me
to be in
tell
a
you.
commercial skit.
You are in for a treat. My goodness.
All right, so I got a little bit of the robe or the cloak reflecting in the boot there. A little bit along the arm, even though it wouldn't kind of come out this far, but it makes for good look. Same on the hip and the chest. Over here, not so much. I got the hip. Probably not. I might put a little bit back here, but there's not a lot of light reflection back there, so I don't know that I'll do a whole lot. The back of that leg needs some, probably. He's back there. They originally went in asking for boba tea. But they got confused. That's a badumts. I'll put a little bit of reflection right here.
Perfect. Got good shots of his backpack. Love it. All right, let's mix up some funky looking pants. Oh gosh. Got all over me. We don't want that to happen at all. All right, so like usual, we're gonna start from the inside and we're gonna go out. So we're gonna start with the undershirt and the pants and stuff, and then we're gonna paint all the stuff on top of it afterward. Zoom back on in. Move the rest of these fancy models out of there. And we're gonna start. See if we can get the right color. Yeah, close. Touch of black. Saturate it a little bit. That is basically what we're looking for. White. It was royal purple was a better color. Let's take a look. little bit of trial and error. He wanted boba tea, but the Kaminoans were confused. Funny.
Just said that.
Oh, sorry. I'm sorry to break your...
You were too busy talking to yourself over there.
Sorry. Sorry.
So who's got the best weekend plans, chat? Some brown transparent and some glazed medium going over here. Want to paint and go for some walks? I like it. Nothing wrong with that. Helping a scout pack run a Pinewood Derby. Ooh, I like those. Those are always fun.
Oh, yeah.
Pinewood Derby is always fun.
Been a while since I've done one of those.
All right, so my plan here is to take this brown, which when you get it really thin gives us kind of an orangey feel, and start dipping into the shadows on the cloak with it. I'm not going to do the entire shadow area with it. I'm just going to kind of pick and choose some spots where it's the deepest kind of that Payne's gray where it gets the darkest, and then as it comes out into the green where you can imagine the shadow coming out into the light, I'm going to stretch some of this transparent brown that we just mixed up into that mid-tone area a bit. And then just kind of feather it down.
So, you are seeing, if you can see any of this, I know this is a black model on a black background. I'm painting a relatively dark color on it, but if you can see, all of this stuff that's on top of his pants is the whole reason why I'm focusing on painting these pants first. Because trying to paint the pants when everything else is already painted is going to be such a huge pain in the butt, because I'm just going to get color all over everything, which is not what we want to be doing. This here.
Armigers, the little knights. Mo? Amsterdam, take it easy.
You out of here? See you later, Amsterdam. Bright and early, 12 o'clock on Monday. chin finished. Nice. Now we got a little bit of the underside of this arm that I gotta finish painting. I have to admit, it felt real good to play some fighting games today against Ruben.
Is that your jam? You like that?
It's one of those, those hobbies that you pick up that you're like, this is not something that I'm going to focus on all of the time, but it's something I really, truly enjoy doing.
Yeah.
And I'm going to learn over the long haul, sort of situations. So like whenever new games come out, I'll usually play them for a couple of months. Or if my friends are really going through like a phase where we're playing a lot of fighting games, I'll be playing, every night. But I progressively get better over the long term, and it's really, really rewarding. And I just love the games that are super fun, and it's really challenging, to be honest. It is one of the hardest skill sets that I've ever had to pick up. And I am not naturally like good at video games.
Just mash buttons.
I mean, yes, but when you go past the stage of wanting to just mash buttons.
Wait, there's a stage past mashing buttons?
Yes. There are many stages beyond smashing buttons.
No way.
Yeah. Yes, there are.
No.
Yes, sir, there are.
You're doing it wrong. There's just mashing buttons.
I'm still mashing buttons. Sort of. I know what my buttons do. I'm still mashing them. But at least I'm mashing with a purpose.
Mashing with I have a purpose. Kill the other guy.
Kill
Hit the button harder! I've never been a big fighting game guy.
That's okay.
They've always been kind of like blow through and be done. Tekken.
Yeah.
I used to enjoy Tekken with some of my friends, but it was never one where I was like, oh, I got my guy and I play this way and I know all the moves. I just never found them to be worth a lot of investment.
It helps a lot when you have a group of people who are invested.
Yeah, I think you gotta be wanting to sit down and like see who wins.
Yeah,
plays through a mini tournament kind of a thing.
It's also one of those things that it truly takes a long time to get good at. And I am not good at fighting games.
You haven't played a fighting game since Tekken on the PlayStation? That was my thing, right? Is that I had a PlayStation whatever. PlayStation 2 or 3 at that point. When was there's probably been a Tekken since then, but...
Yeah. Absolutely.
PlayStation 3 Tekken.
There have definitely been a few Tekkens to come out.
But I don't know
for sure.
anything about the world of Tekken, so none of that mattered to me, really.
It's all weird, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I was like...
It's all convoluted and
weird.
None
of that matters. My friends would be like, okay, so here's the deal.
Yeah.
And I'd be like, I don't care. I mash buttons, we have some fun.
Yep.
Don't tell me there's a reason to this. Other than mashing buttons and having fun.
Because there's not.
There really is sitting over here mashing buttons and having fun. That's it. Right there, so I got enough brown in there to get us some dirty feeling in the shadows.
Yeah, Smash Bros is definitely one of the most popular and approachable fighting games for sure. I think a lot of the problem too with fighting games in general, which is why they're not as popular as some other genres, is the fact that somebody who's been playing for 5 or 6 years or the better part of their life, you will just never beat these people. Like, they will just
it's the people that have like their own custom controllers.
No, not even just because of the controller, just because they know the game.
No, what I'm saying, the people that have their own custom controllers are like, they're invested.
Yeah.
It's like if you go bowling and your friend shows up with their own bowling ball and their own shoes.
You're like, this guy.
It's like, okay, this guy, This guy's serious.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not serious. I'm renting shoes and don't care what ball you hand me, kind of a thing. Which is funny because at one point in time I did have my own ball and shoes.
It can be fun to get involved to that level,
particular.
though. In a thing. Just for the fun of it. Gosu, I really enjoyed bowling with the bumpers on. I don't think I have ever bowled without bumpers on.
What?
If I'm being honest, yeah. To be fair, I have not bowled a lot in my life.
Yeah. That's fair.
And if somebody was like, hey, do you want to go bowling? And we want to bowl without bumpers on, I'd be like, let's do it. Because you know what? Time to learn a new skill.
Time to learn something new.
Yeah.
I've got 2 kinds of wet in my pants.
Two kinds. Ball Jam, what's going on?
I like learning new stuff.
Godly Banana Lord. Everybody bow down.
Godly
What's the mini
Banana
painting
Lord.
equivalent of owning your own bowling ball? I don't know that those are the same.
I mean, there's definitely an equivalent.
Is there?
I'm sure there is.
What would it be?
That's what I'm trying to figure out.
Showing up with your Go Bag Evo
Yeah.
and all your
I mean, that's one. That's one.
Are we the bad guys?
I don't think that's a bad thing. Being somebody who's invested is not that. That's
I
not
mean,
a
now that
bad
you brought
thing.
that's a great question, because I think if you show up to paint night and you've got like a Go Bag Evo, like our big travel bag, you know, and it's loaded to the hilt with all your hobby supplies, you know you're serious. You didn't just bring in a shoebox. But the same holds true like in bowling. You could show up and rent the shoes and grab the ball off the rack and be the best bowler in the building.
True.
You don't have to have your own stuff.
That is correct.
You could bring your paints in a shoebox or just use the store's paint and an old brush and still be the best painter in the building.
Yes.
So I don't know that it really means anything.
Yeah. Look, for example, I have a fancy arcade stick.
Yeah, I was going to say, T. Schmidt is like having painted armies is the equivalent. Now you're just showing off.
I have painted armies.
Now you're just showing off. You used to show up with your own ball and shoes, but that's because it was a hand-me-down from your dad. That's cool, yeah. I got a pair of shoes and a bowling ball from a friend in California when they had like punk rock bowling down in San Diego on a regular basis. And I would go down and like stay a weekend in San Diego at this guy's house with his wife, and we'd all go in this big group and go bowling. And so I think at one of my birthdays or something, they pitched in and got me a ball and shoes because I kept going down there. And
They're like, you should just have a ball and shoes.
yeah, so they got me like a pair of bowling shoes that had like tiger stripes on them or something crazy like that, you know.
That's cool though.
Francis like, what are painted armies? Never heard of this. Me neither. I don't know. He's making stuff up. Don't listen. He'll lead you down a rabbit hole you don't want to go down.
I mean, to be fair, it genuinely took me a very long time before I got to the point where I could get whole armies painted. And I had to learn how to do it.
Ball Jam, we're doing great. Besides greatly painting minis, well, thank you. Jordan is doing some Shatterpoint.
I am. Finishing up the last model from this here squad.
I am continually working on this in like perpetuity. I think the Death Knight is going to be the death of me. It's a great model. I just can't find a way to be finished. I keep looking at it going, ooh, but wait. But what if we did this?
But wait, there's more.
But what if we did this? So, yeah, that's a thing. I think I need like red gray. Where is the wonderful color called red gray? I have it right here. Maybe some dark ivory. Oh, you know what? I wonder what red, gray, and faded green are going to give me. We're going to go down that path. Does dead flesh and all. we will tint red gray with green. Because, you know, we don't play by the rules here. Well, Jim, hope you had a great stream. Good to see you. Everybody's got a good prep for the weekend. You're doing something nice. You're sliding into home plate after a long week. You get some R&R going on. We had a hell of a week. Moved into a new place. I'm sure that there is no rest for the weary. And we will have to do lots more of this move work over the weekend. But at least I'm not packing anymore.
Yeah, you're unpacking.
Yeah, now it's the reverse.
You're putting stuff in its forever home.
The fact that we don't get internet at the house for like 3 weeks really bums me out.
Yeah, that's
because like now setting up my office doesn't seem as fun. I was all gung ho. I was like, Yesterday when Jen found out that the internet wouldn't be turned on for 3 weeks, I was at Best Buy picking up the TV for the bedroom, and was going to be setting up the living room TV and the bedroom TV. Our bedroom TV blew up a month or so ago, so Jen hadn't had any TV in the bed. I don't ever watch TV in bed. That drives me bananas. But Jen does. And so she hadn't had a TV in the bedroom for over a month. And so I went out and got her a new TV yesterday at lunch. And that's when, right as I was coming out of Best Buy, she's like, so we're not going to have internet for a long time. And I'm like, well,
I got your new TV.
Your dreams of TV. You'll have the TV now. You just won't be able to do anything. But last night, you know, I was like, I think, and Gabe had said the same thing, and I think somebody in chat had said the same thing yesterday. You get a hotspot, right?
Yep. So
we were like, it's 7:30. I'd just gotten home from the office, had picked up dinner for us. We were eating dinner, and we're like, well, what time does the AT&T store close? We could just go get a hotspot. And she's like, 8 o'clock. And I was like, let's go. So we like didn't even finish our dinner. Threw it up on the counter, jumped in the car, went to the AT&T store, no hotspots.
They just didn't have any?
Just didn't have any of the equipment. And so, but I asked the girl, she goes, oh, but you can go to the corporate store that's up on Camelback and 20th. We're like, great, that's close, we know where that is. I was like, can you call them to make sure, which is like my hero mode, brain cell kicking in. Because she called and they didn't have one either. And then she was like, oh, but there's another store over here. And she called them and they finally had one. And we were like, can you please ask them to stay open long enough for us to get over there? And so they did. And we got there at like 7:56 and they closed at 8.
Oh my gosh.
Maybe not. We got there at like 7:50. They had us out of there in 10 minutes. They still only closed like 3 or 4 minutes late. Right? Which was perfect. And yeah, I think it literally took us from door to door, from leaving to returning home. It took us like 45 minutes tops. And then we get home and set it up, and the damn thing doesn't work very well. Because our old brick house doesn't get any service inside of it, so. Still fighting that issue. I'll play with it a little bit today and see if I can't move it around. There's got to be one edge of the house that gets some freaking cell service. You would think.
I would think. Would think so.
I mean, we're right dab smack in the middle of one of the biggest cities in the U.S. You'd think you could get cell service downtown. But lo and behold. Man, red gray is a really good, like over this kind of weird faded camo green that I've done on the skin. The red gray gives us a really neat dead flesh almost instantaneously.
Yeah, it's some like nice warmth to it in a weird sort of way.
It's not even, yeah, it's just enough pinkish.
Yeah,
to kind of make it look like he was once alive. You know about painting armies, but painted, is that the same as the myth of finished painting? Yes. Yes, that's exactly what they're alluding to, and it's a lie. Just like the cake, I'm told.
What?
People say the cake is a lie.
Why is the cake a lie?
I don't know.
Why would the cake ever be a lie?
Because if somebody's having to promise you cake to get something, the cake is probably a lie.
Unless it's not a lie.
You're still young and naive. Don't ever take cake from strangers, Jordan. Just gonna say it. The cake is a lie.
Okay.
Jordan's like, wait a minute. Every time I'm out, there's a stranger offering me cake. It hasn't gone bad yet.
Yeah. You'd be surprised how good some cake is that you get for some strangers.
Random street cake. Random stranger cake.
Stranger cake.
Oh, stranger cake sounds horrible. Like I feel like we've just gone into innuendo zone.
I think we passed that way long ago. We've been in innuendo zone for a hot minute.
GLaDOS says it is a lie. Is GLaDOS the thing from Portals? Or from Portal? Is that the robot? The AI mother? That's one of my favorite games of all time.
Portal?
Yeah. And Portal 2 or whatever.
I did not know that.
So good. Did you not play them?
Me?
Yeah.
I've played Portal before.
Oh, okay, cool. It's literally one of the best games of all time.
We have a Jen.
It's a Jen!
There is a Jen
Hello.
in the studio.
She's touching my butt
Not me.
while I'm paint. Well, that
It
scares
ain't me.
Well, that
ain't me.
He immediately said, "It's not me."
It's not me. Both of my hands are very clearly on stream.
I
Yeah.
have to go.
Okay.
Um,
Is it good? Okay, good.
so are we good at 10 o'clock?
For what? For Monday timeline? We'll ask chat. Hey, chat. We have information for you. For those of you lucky enough to be here right now.
Yup.
So,
Very
paintbrushes. Paintbrushes are going through final QC here in our office right now. All right? We will be working on them throughout the weekend, and we are going to be putting them on the store for sale on Monday. Does anybody in chat care about this? Says open the floodgates. So, for those of you that don't know, you might be here for the first time, Monument Hobbies, we make the wonderful Pro Acryl paint. We also make the Pro Series brushes, and we've been out of stock since, like, before Christmas of last year. And we are going through this production run at Final QC right now. We'll have tons of brushes available. We're going to make them available, and we always tell you guys on chat and in the Discord, so exclamation point Discord there. But we're planning on taking them, and I'm thinking 8 o'clock Pacific. I'm thinking just as soon as I get here on Monday, I'll turn it on. Does that sound all right? How about that, chat? 8 a.m. Pacific means 11 a.m. Eastern, right?
Yeah.
That's
that
how time
sounds good.
works?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. How about 8 a.m. Pacific time on Monday? Everybody good with that? Punisher's correct. And they're gone. They will not last.
They will not.
We
got a lot.
understand
They will
that
not
we
last.
made a lot, but they will not last for longer. If they last a month, we will be blown away. So be ready on the brushes. But we'll make them live at 8. I think 8's good.
Okay.
We'll do 8.
So I also put the last line in there. I put grab them. Like, we expect them to go quick, so grab them
Yep.
as soon as you can.
Yes, as soon
Can you
as you
put that in
can.
there?
Do
Okay,
not.
just
I
making
would
sure.
do something, like, hey, don't
Yeah.
don't be lazy on this
Yeah,
one.
yeah.
They will move quick.
Yeah. Okay.
Source is asking a good question. Are any of these brushes going to EU distribution?
To EU distribution? The answer is yes if we can. realize that we are going to pull some for distribution. I don't know that that means they'll get enough to take care of everybody, but yes, we will try to get some out to EU and to UK distribution. They have stuff that has been back ordered from their last orders. So we'll take a look at all that over the weekend and make sure that we parse some out. I would then make sure that as I let you know, keep asking on stream, but get in touch with PK Pro as soon as we tell you that, hey, we've allotted them there, and get in touch with PK Pro and ask them if you can pre-order or something like that. We'll keep you posted, but keep asking us here in chat on the stream.
So I will
or in Discord.
I will put monumenthobbies.com and then in parentheses FLGS.
Yeah.
So that run into their stores at 8 a.m.
Yeah.
Okay. And then an email.
I have it on my thing to do after the stream is to do the drip stuff.
Perfect.
If
I
you can
started
show me
it.
the text.
Yeah, I started it. I copied and pasted the text into a draft.
Okay, so it's on there that I'll see?
It's on there.
Okay.
But yeah,
I'll finish it up and I'll do the
fancy at all.
retailers too.
Okay.
It's all logistics stuff.
Yeah.
You out of here, John?
Yeah.
I will see you on Monday.
Look at him, guys. He's actually starting to look like a model.
What?
I know, it's crazy.
You think so?
It's kind of crazy.
I really like the texturing you got on the cloak.
Jen's cutting out. She's going home. She's got all the brushes at home to do QC at home. She's got a whole station set up. Going to repeat your question. You guys use sable brushes for everything? I use synthetic for everything. He uses sable.
Yeah. I'm a sable guy. He's a synthetic guy.
Yeah, this whole model's done with our synthetics. Every model you see me paint is done with our synthetics. I love our synthetic brushes. I mean, I make the products, and so I've designed all the brushes, and I love our synthetics. And they just keep getting better and better. So, you can always tell because all of our blue handled brushes, if it's any shade of blue, it's synthetic, and if it's any shade of red, it's sable. The only times that changes is on the signature series brushes for Sam and Uncle Adam. And as we do brush sets with other artists, they get to pick their handle color. And so like Sam's are matte black, and he has both sable and synthetics in matte black, but you can only buy them in the set. And then Uncle Adam's set is gloss black with red dipped handles with white text to match his colors for his brand. But in general, all of the standard Monument Pro series, blue is synthetic. That includes all the dry brushes. You'll notice have dark blue handles, and then the red handles are the sables. It really is just up to you. Both are fantastic. Rancid's like, Alexa, remind me on Monday to buy brushes from Monument. We normally say, Alexa, order me a pizza. It's been months since we've done that, so hopefully we just ordered somebody a pizza.
Does it work?
We've had some people say that it does if they're listening to us on the speakers. They're like, damn you!
Where they actually get a pizza ordered? That's hilarious.
I think it asks questions before it just instantly brings a pizza to your door.
Where would you like me to order a pizza
Yeah,
from?
exactly, right. Xenobond is like, thanks for saving me time. Alexa beeped. Hey, Alexa, order me a Gulfstream G3 airplane. That's only like, I don't
Hey,
know,
Alexa,
$15 million.
bake me a cupcake.
Bake me a cupcake. I don't think that's how Alexa works, but what do I know?
I mean, have you asked?
No,
Have
that's
you asked
true.
that particular question
That's
before?
true. You're not going to get the cupcake if you don't ask for the cupcake. This
Correct.
is true.
Yep.
This is true. That's not the way life works. You got to ask for what you want.
Yep.
Nobody's going to deliver it on your doorstep. here's the real thing. It's like, how does the bright pale green or the faded green change our red gray? Ooh, that's a good color, actually.
All right. Undersuit and his leather is almost done. I'm gonna do the boots. 'Cause I forgot the boots.
You're painting way too fast. I'm
Sorry?
going to have to ask you to slow it down a bit. I cannot have this level
of speed.
of speed and upstaging of my painting happening on my own stream.
Hey, hold on. I have spent a good deal of time to teach myself how to paint fast, okay? And I've been painting under deadlines for a long time.
You can
I'm
relax
well
here,
practiced.
Jordan. You don't have to feel all stressed.
But I'm always stressed.
Oh yeah, I can definitely tell that about you.
Yeah, oh yeah, totally. I'm definitely the most stressed person in this office.
It's really unnerving how much stress Jordan brings to the office.
Do I? I don't think I do. Gosh, I hope I don't. I hope I relieve stress. Do I cause you stress, Jason?
What's the right answer, chat? I'm gonna ask chat.
Of course they're gonna say yes. Is that even a question? They're just gonna say yes. They don't have another setting other than yes.
They don't have another setting other than yes.
Yeah.
No
No
comment.
comment. Yeah. That's the other setting. And it's not much better. Let's see here. You are an employee. You get paid to make your boss stressed.
Wait, whoa.
Is that what I get paid to do?
Wait.
I feel like I'm not doing a very good job.
Whoa. Whoa.
Was that part of my
Whoa.
my daily
Chat.
duties?
Whoa.
Does this stress
This is
you out?
not part of his job description.
Getting me excited over here. I'm just kidding. I would never want to stress you out. I hope I don't stress you out. Do I stress you out?
Here we go, chat. Now we have him on the ropes. Oh no, Jordan. You don't ever cause me any stress.
Shit. I'm screwed. I'm screwed.
Oh my god.
I'm screwed, chat. There's no future for me.
Oh, there's a future,
The
alright.
end has come and gone.
There's a future, alright.
Where's our... Alright, I am painting his armor. I think we're going to do 3 different colors here to get this non-metallic metal effect. We're going to use black, transparent white, faded green, and dark blue. Will be a nice, really nice combination of colors that we can use in conjunction with the white and black. You get some really nice desaturated colors, but still have a really interesting non-metallic metal. The armor on the dead guy is messing with my eyes. I can't tell if it's warm or cold. It's like both?
Yes.
Yes. Well,
yes.
Well, remember, warm and cold colors are largely contextual. So, depending on what part of the model you're comparing it to, it could be warm or it could be cold. If you're looking at it next to the cloak, it's cold. Or if you're looking at it next to the hair, it might look warm. So, it's a little bit weird sometimes.
Starting to see how you look at composition as you pull a model together. How you want the colors to interact is not always as simple as your color wheel.
Yes.
Color theory. A
1000%.
lot of people, when you talk about painting, especially in miniature art, because so many people are not, and myself included, remember, I'm not a trained artist. But a lot of people talk in terms of color theory being that color wheel. And you'll look at, complementary colors and triads and quartets and things like that, and you'll think, okay, this is what I go, and these are the rules that I follow. But those don't always give you the depth and interest that you want, because remember that saturation and value are the biggest components to color readability, right? How bright and saturated did the color get is going to determine how it relates to all the colors around it. So my gold is really desaturated right now, right? It has a high value in the bright spots, but all the colors are very desaturated. I don't have any color on the gold that is at full vibrancy. None of the yellow greens, none of the yellows, nothing. Technically, the pale yellow at the very end is, right? And then I've used the heavy body warm white. That is a new color coming out in the next set. And so it's on there as the brightest color right now. And so that's at full value. But because it's fully desaturated almost, it's almost white, right? You don't get that readability that really tells you that, because if you see some golds that are like yellow, it's much more simplified as to how you read all that, right? Like if we look at...
if you look at mine, right? Mine.
Like here,
My horse.
right? Lots more vibrancy. Yeah. And like the oranges on your gold.
Yeah.
Right? So you get a lot more there. Here, all of the colors like on the gold on my this big Space Marine are at a higher vibrancy. They're not a higher saturation. They're not as desaturated. Whereas here, you don't get that same feel. So it does cool off the gold, which was my main goal. I wanted the gold to not read as like bright, warm yellow, because it's the biggest part of the model, really. And so a lot of times I try to steer away from that. We've done the same thing with Dante to some extent, right? Doing the gold on him. I've done different colors, and I've used a little bit more warmth than I have on the dead guy, as you put it, right? But the same thing holds true. I'm using very desaturated colors so that it doesn't just radiate that bright yellow gold, which I equate to being more of a like a gold plated, when you get like a more what would you call it? You're not going to hammer forge gold anyway because it's too soft, so you wouldn't wear it as armor, but you get my drift, right? So a lot of times you'll see me do my golds in not as warm colors when it's the whole suit of armor, because I feel like it overtakes in a lot of cases the model. It just winds up being too much. When it's trim, like on Jordan's Horus, perfect. Using that trim as a way to bring warmth on the model is great. But I tend to like to have warmth be in things like, the red on the gun and on the loincloth and things like that. Bring the warmth in on all of those little spots so you can really kind of pull it together. And then leave the golds as kind of a funky, I can't tell if it's warm or cold, like you said, because then it lets it be both, right? And here we are allowed to put in, warmth in like the yellows, the warm yellow that kind of looks like the reflection of sunlight, or the gold armor back on the wings kind of shows every now and then. And that keeps your eye moving around the model, looking between the color temperature and the value and the vibrancy of colors, keeps everything to where you can put it in focus, as opposed to if you just burst that model, especially like Dante. Either one of these guys has got so much invested in the gold that if you do it there, you wind up with that being the only thing you really read, right? It's the gold, and everything right next to the gold is what you see, and you might lose some of the nuance of all the other parts of the model. Or you find yourself having to drive so much contrast into the other parts of the model in order to make them interesting that then everything loses its material, what we'll call material value.
Yeah.
You know, leather. I saw a really good post today where someone showed a couple of faces. I think it was in the Heavier Metal Facebook group. They showed a couple of faces of Space Marines, and he had pulled like a random Space Marine face that somebody had painted on Instagram and then put up what he was practicing next to it. His was very desaturated, more realistic, and looked really good. The one that he had up there was a face by, you know, insert well-known painter on Instagram here, and it had way too much contrast when you looked at him in comparison. You know, the realistic one looked like the colors were good, the blends were good, and then the one that he was comparing it to had a lot of contrast. And that contrast almost makes the skin look like non-metallic metal at that point. And the reason that a lot of people do that is because they focus so much of the visual interest on a particular part of the model, like the armor, you know. Whereas here, I've tried to disperse it to where the leather has as much interest on it without having to burst into bright colors, because I've desaturated my metal on the armor so much. So you can kind of move your eye around the model and feel like you want to. I haven't finished the inside of the cloak, so there's no texture on the burgundy part of that. But, you know, the texture and the brightness and values on the other on the back side of the cloak give it that kind of beaten wool look. And so there's always something to look at, and the armor, no one part pulls itself away from the model too much. Now you have to find focus and paint focus on there. If everything is at the same like kind of saturation and value level, you lose the visual impact that makes people want to even look deeper. So you do need to put that on there. So that's why, you know, you'll still scale your brightness and darkness to where, you know, certain part of the model, like this side of the model, has much less interest to it because it's over in shadow, versus here, this is the money shot that you'll see me painting from most of the time, right? Where are the wings on Dante from? They're the same wings from Yndrasta, the Celestial Spear Age of Sigmar model. They're these. I heated up one of them, I think. I don't think I heated both of them up.
I think you heated up the one on the
this one
left.
Yeah, because it was covering the gun too much. The way that it was. So his wings are a little bit more open than hers are because I bent them a little bit more. But same wings. Really, really good sculpted wings. If I could just have 80 pairs of these, I could use them on every model I ever needed to have at this scale with wings because they're just great. But I've always thought Dante needed wings. If anybody in the Blood Angels is going to have wings, it needs to be Dante. If you're appreciating the model with mahogany and bold titanium white, is that a 50-50 mix of the two colors? If you're appreciating the model for the Fist Yellow tutorial pre-shade step, no. Generally, for me, if you're looking at the methodology on that, it would be mahogany on the model and then white over that, and then the yellows over that. I generally don't mix colors for the pre-shade. Kind of wants to be, it's kind of a waste of time unless you just don't have a color that you want to pre-shade with, like a particular orange or pink or something you want to do it. But yeah, generally it would mean that I do mahogany in the shadows and then pre-shade with white over the top of that. Only in death does duty end. Just because I'm a nihilist, I hope that when Dante finally gets his wish and dies on the battlefield, they entomb him in a dreadnought. And I like Dante, so. Yeah, layer color in each step. Yep, easy peasy. Yeah, the that model is here. So yeah, you use the mahogany as a base, and then do your pre-highlight over the top of that, and then start working your yellows. Oranges, actually, right? Because you go from that to, I think on that one, burnt orange, maybe. That gives that warmth. in the shadow, the midtones. You know, you get the orange across the line of the arm before the shine, and on the front of the shin, and wherever you're just about to travel into shadow, you put a punch of that orange. And then really just focus your yellow on the top areas. And of course that gives you kind of a dirty yellow, which I believe I like on Space Marines more than just a really bright, kind of lemony yellow.
So much better, in my opinion.
So build up the color on with respect to the shadow and where it's going to be bright. Yeah, I paint, so everything that you'll see from me and a lot of things, although Jordan in some cases when painting bright colors will start mid-tone, work shadows on, like if you saw the latest video doing the yellow cloth, he'll do his mid-tone shadows and then highlights and balance it back out. With me on the methodology so far, what you'll find is that I work from pure darkness and I start layering all of my colors towards my light source. You're brighter and brighter and working in that direction of your light source. So let's say, like on this guy, the light source is coming from here, right? And so as I'm working up airbrushing layers or brushing layers, I'm always moving my brighter colors towards the part of the model that, like, the area on the part of the model that's facing that angle. Like my light is over here, right? So I start taking all of my bright colors that direction and just keep shrinking the amount of paint I put down and down and down until eventually you're just putting one little bright dot, on the upmost parts that are facing your light source. That's my whole method of painting. I very rarely break away from that.
I go a different route generally.
Yeah.
I work back and forth.
Yeah, I think for you, it's usually when you're painting more vibrant colors, more bright, vibrant colors. Yeah. I find you working in the midtones and then shadowing and highlighting, which is perfect for painting yellows, flesh a lot of times. I'm just an old dog. I have been painting from black primer to bright colors my whole life, and so I've just kind of found a rhythm that allows me to kind of pull up through my midtones and finally get to my brightness. It does not mean that you won't see me go back and do shadows after, like we've been doing on this cloak, right? I painted it up bright, filtered it back, added in shadows, layered in shadows over the top. It's still a great method to use. It's still me attacking the model, looking at it from terms of complete lack of light to adding light as I go. It's almost like if you had a dimmer and you had the model in a dim room, like the lights are completely off. The way I paint is the way the model would look as you go from off to dimming that light all the way up to full. Because at the first, as soon as you crack the dimmer on and you get a little bit of glow of light, you don't get much color on the model. And that's your base layer. And then you dim it up a little bit more, and that's your mid-tone. A little bit more, that's your mid-highlight. A little bit more, you get your first highlight, and eventually you crank the light up all the way and you get your final highlight, right? That's the method that I use to paint. Because it helps to guide me towards my light source and think along the way as to what light source is making sense and move it as I need to adjust my brightness as I go.
Yeah. Sometimes I'll paint more.
Ooh, that armor's looking great.
Thank you. Sometimes I'll paint a little bit more with like the volumes in mind. So I'll start with like a mid-tone and then I'll just like blast in a really bright color in the highlight. Like kind of what I did on this armor where I just like put a bunch of brightness where I wanted the reflections to be, and then I work that back down into like a shadow. Because it really helps me set the idea of where I want the reflections to be, and then I can kind of work it from there. And it helps me really get that jump in vibrancy right out of the gate.
Yeah, again, like everything, there's as many ways to paint as there are painters. The key is for whatever whatever clicks for you to understand how to move from darkness to brightness in a cohesive manner to tell a story on the model. A lot of people, as they're getting started with painting, will find that they just are edge highlighting the top of everything, and so you lose I don't want to say a storytelling, because we are telling a story with every model, but not always the focus, right? Sometimes you're just painting to put the model on the table. But if you pick, you need to be careful of making sure that your highlight would sit on that part of that model where it is, so you're not highlighting something that you got a Space Marine holding a big shotgun or bolter out here. You don't want to be highlighting the belly plate just because it has a top edge kind of a thing. So you start learning that, and however you get there is up to you. You can paint everything bright first and then paint your shadows on. That's usually harder because it's harder to get your brush into the areas where shadow lives on a model than it is to put your brush on the area where highlight lives. So from a functional standpoint, much easier to paint from shadow to highlight.
Yeah.
Because your base layer, if you start with a black primer, that takes care of 90% of the shadow on your model. You don't have to paint armpits and crotches and things like that. That's hard to get your brush into later on.
And areas where I typically will do that, like super high jump in brightness and then bring everything back down with blending or glazes, is on models that don't have areas that I can't get to easily. So like, you notice I did it on this armor because the armor is all easy to access, but I didn't do it on the pants or the jumpsuit, right?
Star Laser, when you're asking about checker decals, are you trying to paint them or actually put decals on? It's tough getting the shape right. I don't use decals, so I'm not really a good person to ask. I've done a ton of them in my life, but in general, I paint.
What's the decal question? Checker decals on shoulder.
If you're talking about freehanding them and how to get them right, there is one big thing that usually causes people problems, and that's that they will do a oh, you're using the decals. Okay, never mind then. You should have tried freehanding, but getting nice sharp squares was going even worse. The shape of the decals on Stormtrooper on Space Marine shoulders is rough because it's a radiused surface, and decals don't like to lay there. They tend to wrinkle as you go around in the circle, right? So that one's tough.
Gotta get a good.
There are ways with the Microsol and Microset, that stuff makes them a little stretchy, so that you can use like it
like dissolves the edges of the decal almost.
Well, the Microset does, or the Microsol doesn't. The Microsol makes it more pliable, so you can move it around on the surface better.
Yeah.
And then you use something like this, which is a silicone clay tool. It's a clay shaping tool is what it is, but it's got this, silicone rubber tip, and you can use that to kind of push the decal down. You can use a paintbrush too, but a paintbrush has a lot of points of contact, whereas this just has the one. So if you get, this is literally just called a clay shaper from Hobby Lobby, right? Taper point, extra firm clay shaper, right? And these are just sculpting tools, but they're great for decals because you put the decal on, you put the Microsol on it, it loosens it up, lets it stretch a little bit better, and then you use this to press it all down and to keep rubbing it out towards the edges, because you go from the center out towards the edge and then go around the shoulder plate up towards the trim of the shoulder plate the whole time to get it to lay flat. And as you get a wrinkle, you just kind of give it a push along the wrinkle to flatten it out. Then you have to put the Microset on there, because the Microset, like Jordan said, it kind of causes the edges to fade out. You can slice the decal, but realize it will spread on the circle, right? T-Schmidt, and then you'll have to paint the gap. And if you're doing checkerboards, it'll create a misalignment of the checkers. So with linear designs on a round surface, it's better to not slice it. Because if you slice it, it'll spread out nice without the wrinkles, but then your design is disconnected and you have to find a way to paint it back together, which might be easier. I don't know. I hate decals. I just paint squares. The trick to painting squares, and I know it's a hassle, but let me show you something. Right? And this is going to sound kind of funny, but pull a piece of paper out here. The key to doing it is painting each square individually and not doing what feels like the cheater way.
Just
right?
doing a grid.
If you paint a grid first, you're going to have problems, right? I'll show you why. Right, if you do this and paint that checkerboard grid out first, and then you go back and you want to darken this square in, the problem is the width, because you're using a paintbrush and not a pencil, right? Your line is going to have width here, right? And then you paint this one in black, and this one in black, right? Your black squares will always be much larger than your white squares, and it will look overly dominant because the width of the line adds to the dimension of all of your black squares, right? Whereas the white squares don't have that. So it's going to make it look like the black squares overlap by the width of the line, because you can see like this square right here, its edge pushes out to here, this edge, right? And this square pushes out to this edge, whereas the white doesn't, right? So now this square overlaps this one and so on. So it'll make it look inconsistent, and it'll be one of those things where as you paint that way, at the end of it, you go, Even if it's square and lines up perfectly, you'll be like, something's off. And it's because the black squares overlap one another where they shouldn't. So you're always better, like I did here, just paint each square, right? And build it up like that. But it does take time and patience, so I get it. Not everybody wants to do that. But if you are going to attempt to freehand checkerboards, paint each square individually. You can always adjust the squares as you go. I generally tend to paint them smaller than I want so that I can square the edges off and get the size that I'm looking for, then go to the next one, you know. Oh yeah, for ultramarine symbols and things like that, where you can cut like where the ultra symbol is, you can cut in the middle and it'll spread and lay. Looks good. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, exactly. Star Laser. Yep. Yep. And yeah, you're right. It's just that you're taking a flat piece of decal sheet and trying to put it on a radius deal on the shoulder plate, and it never works great.
I don't think I've ever had to put a decal on a shoulder pad before.
Space Marine shoulder pad.
Yeah,
I hate it. That's why I freehand them, and that's why I'll never paint Lamenters.
What's the Lamenter decal?
It has like the bleeding heart in the middle of the checkerboard.
Oh, screw that.
Yeah.
I'm good.
Yeah.
We can.
The heart part's easy. It's the checkerboard that'll bum me out.
This is coming together. Not so bad.
Doing hazard stripes on shoulder pads is hell on earth. I think that's. I mean, it's okay. Yeah, I get it. It's not great, right? Because if you're doing them angled across a curve, but it really is that first line that you got to get. And once you nail that first line, you just then make it match all the others. So I think it's not as hard as you feel like it is. You get that first line and how it has to look to be straight when you look at the thing, because the line is not straight as you paint it, right? If you try to paint a straight line and you look at it, it's going to look all warped. You know, it's like painting a flag. I don't think we have that model in here. But when you try to paint designs on rippled surfaces, you have to do the same thing. You have to become the line and paint the line as it goes around the surface, as opposed to just painting a straight line. But once you get that first line nailed, then all the rest of them become easy, because you just look at the distance between them and get it measured. You're fine. This is the Death Knight. This is from Journeyman Miniatures. You can find, if you're in North America, you can find them on our site at monumenthobbies.com. We're the exclusive distributor for Journeyman Miniatures in North America. If you're in Europe or the UK, go to journeymanminiatures.co.uk, I believe. They are based out of the UK and France. Mally and Tim. Both great artists and painters, and they've got a whole group of cohorts in the hobby world that everybody from Brahm to like Paul Jones, tremendous artists. Bonner.
Yeah, they do a ton of Bonner stuff.
Amazing artists, both from inside the hobby and just general fantasy and sci-fi artists that do their sculpts. Great stuff. Solo, no problem. Jody Muir, yeah. But this is Death Knight, one of the more recent releases.
Yeah, I think that came out, what, a month or so ago?
April?
Yeah.
No, March. Because he was at Adepticon.
Oh, was he?
Yeah. It was early March because it was right as we released the line.
Oh, right. Yes, that is true.
Rosetta's Mindworks. Mo.
So is Brahm.
Oh, is Brown Mineworks?
And Jody.
Oh, that's right. Yep. We also represent Mineworks in the States, so I am confuzzled.
Yeah,
Mostly Bonner or Journeyman.
Yeah, Journeyman does predominantly Bonner.
I obviously did too. Don't tell him. Don't tell him, Mo. Mally will be mad at me.
Well, don't worry, Mo. We can help you with that. We can ease that problem for you.
See something I want to do here. This color. No, probably. I want to put some reflection back into the silver cup, so maybe this color. You want them all? Can we ease the pain on the wallet, Baby J? He's asking you to use your discount for him. He's trying to sneak your discount.
I don't know, Mo. I've been feeling, like the weight of this truck on top of me all day. Or this bus.
The bus that you've been thrown under?
The bus that I've been under all day. And while it might not have been exclusively you, I feel like I've been stuck underneath it for time. Maybe a little bit of alleviated bus might be a strong starting point to an argument.
Alleviated bus. Mo.
Me? I am an innocent.
I don't know
Mo,
how
you are many
got lumped
things.
in here, Mo.
Innocent? I'm not sure is one
I
of them.
feel for you, Mo. I'm not sure how this happened. There we go. A little bit of reflection of the gold back into the cup.
I need you to defend me from Tim is what really needs to happen.
I need to defend you from Tim?
No, Mo.
I can't even defend myself from Tim.
No. Mo can do it. Mo has the power.
Innocence proves nothing. Wait a minute. I feel like it actually does, doesn't it? I love innocence proves nothing. But it does actually.
In the real world.
Oh, I'm sorry, this is chat world.
Yeah.
In the world of chat, innocence means nothing.
We are not in the real world.
Tell that to your local Inquisition. No. This skin, I'm thinking I'm gonna do faded green as the next highlight. We mixed it with the red gray, and I like that a lot. But I think sticking with faded green is gonna make a little bit of sense here.
Yep, I am painting faded green right now. Highlights on this here armor.
Faded green is such a good color. It remains neutral enough
Yeah.
to pull off what you need it to do as a tint for all sorts of colors. And since I'm using red gray mainly here, I think I can get away with it.
I'm just straight up using it as a highlight color. Full opacity. Getting nice Any bright highlights out of it.
I'm glad that they're excited about the video they've shot.
I mean, it's gonna be hilarious. You know as well as I do that it's gonna be super fun.
It's a tarp.
I need to go grab a beverage. I am very thirsty. I didn't bring my
About
water.
done.
You about done?
Yeah, it's 1:58.
That it is, isn't it?
Unfortunately, I cannot run late.
That is all good.
Start to see that he actually does have a face.
Adding in some of this darker warm color for reflections from the earth around, because we've established this bright kind of earthy color, so I'm incorporating a lot of that into the environmental reflections on the armor, make it look all nice and beat up, but also a good amount of color to it, because nothing is more boring than monochromatic non-metallic metal.
What?
So true. You gotta have color to it. Doesn't have life unless it's got color. Alrighty. What does this look like with a little bit of the transparent white?
Mo, did you ever get finished with your Death Knight? Mo was painting a Death Knight.
Most painted Death Knight?
Yeah.
When did that happen?
He cheated and painted him with metallic paint, but we'll let it slide this once.
Suppose we can let that slide. Just this once.
once.
Slide for this one time only.
He had a good metallic gold worked up, though.
Nice. Not finished yet. I feel like I've seen a picture of it on the Discord.
I don't know that he put it on Discord yet. Did you, Mo? I know he sent it to me in an email. He's not ready to release it on the world yet.
Let's see how it is.
It's a great model, isn't it, Mo? It is a ton of fun to paint. It's got enough detail to keep you interested as a painter, but I don't feel like it goes overboard. I feel like it makes me want to continue painting as opposed to the model needing you to continue paint. Does that make sense? You know how sometimes you'll get a model that you don't feel like you're done with because you keep seeing new things you want to try? I think that's this type of model as opposed to like when we were complaining about Horus, right? And Horus is just the model that never ended because it had another doodad you had to paint.
Yep. Like, oh hey, I found another doodad.
This model's
Cool.
not. Yeah, this model's not the endless cycle of doodads. It's that it just has such good stuff that you're like, oh, but I could do this. Oh, but what if I did this? Cleanup was like 10 minutes. Did you have any cleanup on this guy? It took you a minute to build it, but it wasn't that bad, was it?
The cleanup wasn't too bad. It was making sure that all the cape fit on, which was
Yeah, the cape fitting on is what Mo had an issue with too. And I had to do the fill, but I only really spent time on the side that I was interested in from my light side, so I didn't really do a whole lot over here because I don't care about that side. This is the money shot for this guy is somewhere in this area. I like this side just because of the reflection in the cup. Get a good shot of the engraving.
Well, sounds like one stream wasn't quite enough.
Man, you got super close. Looks fantastic too.
Needs all the back part of it done. It needs these little ting highlights,
Leather pouches, paint the base.
leather pouches.
It's a lot of work because didn't you finished up the other guys too? What are you talking about?
Yeah,
You've done all that in like an hour and a half.
like 2 hours.
No, because you did the other guys.
Oh yeah.
Jordan making me look bad. He's painted like 80 million models in 2 days.
You've been gone.
That's no excuse. I still.
I mean,
My claim to fame is that I did get all of the gold laid down in a day on Dante.
look,
And then came. Oh, that's what I did when I was listening to the book. I came back and I worked on him on the weekend.
Yeah.
That's been a while ago, but
it was the day after you'd painted the gold in a day, and you came back and you painted a bunch more on the gold.
it's like that Sunday, I think. Yeah, that Sunday I came back in and I did all the airbrush work to smooth out the brushwork on the gold.
Yeah,
I'm
to be
painting
fair,
a lot of gold
you
lately.
painted a ton of BattleTech.
Oh, that's right. I did 42 BattleTech models.
Yeah,
That counts
I think
for
you should
something,
Give
right?
yourself a little bit more credit. Jess, what up?
Jess, you showed up. Bye. You showed up right in time to buy.
Right in time. Just in time.
So much BattleTech. Holy cow. But I've been playing a lot too, so that's very good. Very good. So we did a lot of work on the cloak today. Got the filter layer base back on there. That was just this muddy green that I created out of transparent green, brown, and yellow. and then a little bit of just raw transparent brown with glaze and wash medium to get the kind of dirty mid-tone shadows laid in there. They're very subtle, but they give a nice feeling of dirty cloth as opposed to just having it be green. It does have the Payne's gray and the shadows as well, so there's enough color going on in the green to keep it interesting. Now we've got to work on the texture for the burgundy side, because all I've done is really wet blend colors on there to get the burgundy layers done with the dark purple on the inside, but I'm probably going to take it in with a little bit of burgundy and burnt red to get that kind of wine-colored inside to the cloak. And I probably want that to look more like a satin, so I'm probably not going to do a ton of texture on it. I think it would be nice to have it be a kind of shiny satin versus the heavier textured wool outside on the cloak that I'm trying to get across. And then we've got to go back and fine-tune the texture on the wool cloak with a lot of stippling, but that'll be like a whole stream unto itself to stipple that damn cloak. The chunky textures we add in with a dry brush just kind of give us a firm foundation for all the underlying colors. Now we'll have to come back in with a final top color and do it by brush. But we're getting close on him. Gonna finish working on the skin, do like the teeth and the eyes. Probably do like a glowy red on the eyes. We don't have a real punchy red here, so might do like a glowy red. Maybe a glowy bright yellow green or something. Demonic green. I don't know what Death Knights have as glowy eyes.
Ice blue.
White would be cool. Yeah, like an ice blue would be cool. Nearly white. Be kind of nifty.
And yeah, this is kind of the finished look on the top of the head and the chest. Touch of that little white to give those points of reflection. Suit's done. Got to paint the guns and stuff as well. Paint his backpack. Paint the base. We'll finish that up on Monday.
Paint Liquor, thanks for hanging out. And to everybody, thanks guys and gals for hanging out, watching some paint dry with us. Remember, we do stream 5 days a week. Generally, you get both of us. This week, you've been troopers and had to deal with Baby J on your own.
Wow.
I mean, am I wrong? See? See?
My soul, it hurts.
My soul, it hurts. 5 days a week, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, like today, noon to 2 p.m. Pacific time here in the States. And then Tuesdays and Thursdays, we start at the later slot at 2 p.m. and go till 5. So 5 chances to catch up. See some amazing paint slinging. Talk about mediocre books we're reading.
Hey, it's a great book. It's a great book.
And other nerddom and things we have going on. Always willing to give you guys a hand with your painting on your end to get you more intrigued and confident as you slap paint on models. Make sure to join the Discord. We will type in all of the things. Oh gosh.
You talk, I get it.
I'll do exclamation point Discord because I already started. There you go.
I finished it.
Oh.
I got it first.
Oh. No, you didn't.
Yes, I did.
No, you didn't.
Look on my screen.
Look on mine.
First.
Look on mine.
Look, we tied again. That is.
Is it really first on yours?
Yeah. 100%.
Damn it. Damn it. But make sure to join the Discord. Exclamation point store in chat if you would there, Baby J. Go over to the Monument Hobbies store and pick up some of your own Pro Acryl and brushes, because remember we have brushes back in stock. They will be hitting the store Monday morning at 8 a.m. Pacific. All during the weekend, we're doing QC on all the latest brush production stock. I know people have been waiting on it. They will go very quickly, so make sure you mark your calendar. 8 a.m. Pacific time on Monday. You'll be able to get brushes all through Monday, I can guarantee that. I don't think they're going to sell out in a day. Weirder things have happened, though, so don't trust this guy. But make sure that you are paying attention. If you've been waiting on brushes, set aside your allowance and get ready for Monday, because they'll go live at 8 a.m. on the store. All of the brushes are in stock. Synthetics, sables, dry brushes, Sam Lynn's, Uncle Adam, you name it. All the sets are going to be available. So get ready for that. And yeah, that's it.
That's it.
That's it. Yeah, just brushes.
Tim, I did look at it. It looks great.
So guys and gals, have a wonderful weekend. Stick around. We're going to find somebody to raid, show some love in the chat we wind up in, and we will catch you on the flip side come Monday. Adios, gang.